If you actually look at Twitter search, you will see that this news story is barely shared by anyone. Even the author couldn't get themselves to share this. Like, they were so ashamed of what they wrote that they wouldn't share this on Twitter. It's absolutely hilarious. So, Libs of TikTok, for those of you who live under a rock, is a very famous Twitter account which amplifies the voices of the marginalized. Right? Like, you have some folks from California and other liberal individuals which have some really interesting takes on TikTok. And Libs of TikTok takes those interesting takes and makes them more public, amplifies, signal boosts them, right? And of course, people are upset about it because sunlight is the best disinfectant. How dare she disinfect? And she's accused of anti-LGBTQ bigotry, despite the fact that I know many LGBT people who actually like what she is doing because they do not believe that the people she's exposing have anything to do with their community or their interests. But more interestingly enough, you know that the producer of Tucker Carlson's show is gay? Like, you do understand this. And yet there she is. Now, the original article to this shows her face. This is what journalists like to do. It's kind of like power word real name in Dungeons and Dragons. Like, if you know the face of a demon, then you can control them, or if you know their name. So ridiculous. And the only reason that they wrote this is because she wanted to be anonymous when she went on Tucker Carlson's show. So let's watch a little bit of that, and then we can make some comments.
People ask me all the time, this is one of the most common questions, is if you could say one thing to Taylor, what would it be? Or if you can ask her one question. And I thought about this so much, and I was never sure how to answer the question, and I thought about it a lot. And then I realized the answer is, I don't want to talk to her. She's a bad person, and she's toxic. And I don't want to, we disagree on everything. We have nothing in common. She's not a person I ever want to be in the same room with. Yes. I never want to be in her presence. So there's my answer. I don't want to talk to her.
I found that to be hilarious, the way they covered her face. I remember like Black Pigeon Speaks used to do that when he would have interviews. It's something akin to the internet. Like, you don't really see it on television. It's part of internet culture to have someone trying to be anonymous, which is impossible to do in 2022. But still, you know, I respect her decision, especially since she's a woman online. And as Taylor Lorenz likes to put it, it's very difficult to be a woman online in current year because you have journalists from the Washington Post trying to harass your friends and family, sometimes even getting the wrong house, but the intention is there, isn't it? And I fully agree with the way she is handling Taylor Lorenz, because Taylor Lorenz is not interested in a conversation. Like, she's not interested in changing her mind. Like, she's a political activist, and her purpose is to try and destroy Libs of TikTok. Like she would make money, she would become famous if she were to be successful in getting Libs of TikTok off the internet. So because of that, there is nothing to discuss. I mean, you know, if a person is trying to ruin you, there's no conversation to be had there. There's not, what exactly can you talk about them? You know, so yeah, this is literally the way you're supposed to handle these levels of haters. Just block and move on. Mute and move on. And I also noticed that the attacks on Libs of TikTok have slowed down ever since Elon Musk is on Twitter. It's almost like the only reason they were attacking was that they were hoping for her to get deplatformed. But now that there is actually proper management at Twitter, they know that they're not going to be successful in the platform because she's not doing anything wrong. Like, she's not violating any terms of service. She's not even editorializing. Like, most of the stuff that she gets from TikTok doesn't need any editorializing. You know, like, you see a teacher that's mad with power, right? Like, they have, like, their hair half-shaven. They're completely mad with power, and they're saying how, oh, like, we don't care about the parents. We do what we know is best, and we're going to teach your children about sexuality. Well, what else do you need to editorialize about that? You know, like, you just show the parents. They're like, okay, well, maybe we should get our kid to a different school, or maybe we should change the school board, the school association. And that's what they're afraid of, right? I love the fact, like, oh, she's putting people's lives in danger. Like, how? How? If anything, it's the people who make the videos on TikTok, if you literally believe that. But as far as I know, like, no one was put in danger because Libs of TikTok. Like, she doesn't have the power to puppeteer people, to manipulate people. Like, I wish I had the power that you're thinking. But I'm starting to think that journalists are projecting because they believe they can actually do puppeteer people. And I think that in some cases they may. I mean, I see during the pandemic, like literally all the talking points from the newspapers were parroted by some of my friends as if they were gospel. So yeah, like the hatred was there. Like during the pandemic, I literally saw hatred towards people that were the 100% on board with all the mandates and stuff. So yeah, I guess like if you work for the corporate press, if you're like CNN, MSNBC, and you have all the power backing you, sure, maybe you can actually do puppeteer people, but I don't think like someone with a Twitter account and that's it, you know, like no corporate backing, no funds being poured in, nothing like that, has the ability to mind control. I mean, if they're so powerful, why don't you hire them in your organizations then, you know? But yeah, so like all of this article is doing is like trying to show her face, which I refuse to do. Out of courtesy, not because it would be a violation of TOS or anything, because it's now in the public eye, but simply out of courtesy, you know. And the fact that the article hasn't been shared almost at all is the laughable thing. Like, it shows how Twitter is when the algorithm isn't on the side of the progressives. It shows what people actually think. And it's very interesting. And when you look at the accusations against her, nothing concrete. It's like, oh, she's causing harm. It's almost like, oh, she's a witch. She is casting spells. She's invoking the devil. Like, who name me the person that suffered because of her. Like create the link, create the connection. You can't, right? So it is what it is. Let me know what you guys think though, and as usual, I will see you in the comment section. Take care.